24/7 differenter. My name is Jennifer Martinez. In today's episode, we have Eric Henderson. How are you, Eric?
Hey, doing great, Jennifer.
Good to have you here. Thank you for coming.
Super nice to be here.
So we have a lot of interesting things to talk about today.
Cool, let's see.
And I just want to talk a little bit about who you are and what you do. If you could just tell the people out there.
Wow, if I have one or two friends watching who I am and what I do, that's always a vexing question. Because I am a photographer, I'm a writer, I'm a business person. And I put stuff on the ground, like in all those fields. Like the photography comes from here. Little camera I found on the ground in Harlem in 2003. Nice. And it ended up in a global campaign with Bombay Sapphire, like the work. And we've shot at, I did the past 2 Super Bowls with this. And it's amazing to see with no formal training in this, just where it has taken me. But again, the same thing with the writing and the business consulting. That's where I did have formal training. I did a couple of MBAs. And I've been working recently with a couple of fashion designers, getting them from that design table and the clothes to funding.
You're writing for them?
No, business plans.
Oh, business plans.
Yeah.
You're a writer. Can you tell everyone where you write?
Oh, I write also for Huffington Post, not business plan, but I love this too. I do a column called Art, the Arts, and Policy. So I'm not an art critic. I'm an artist, but not an art critic. And so I interview former ambassadors, major curators, and the artists themselves. Most recently, Amanda Brown of NBC's The Voice.
Voice, right?
Keith Miller, bass baritone of the Metropolitan Opera. Ambassador Edward Perkins, Hans Ulrich Obrist, curator of the Serpentine Gallery in London. So what do they all have in common? We're trying to get to where we talk, which is, okay, I love it, I hate it, okay, put those aside. What effect does it have on us? How does it change policy? Like the way we live, that kind of policy, as well as sometimes when the folks have to go to the back room and change policy. So that's what I love about Art, the Arts, and Policy.
So you're creative. There's a little bit of that creative side of you.
Creative is a great word for restless. I appreciate that. I love that because it's, I feel that that's the thread that binds it all. Even when I was working at GE, and I mean, I spent a good 20 years in marketing positions at GE, Pepsi, Citigroup. I would give my presentations, and then at some point I'm looking at the spreadsheet and going, whoa, do you guys see what's happening here? And I built the sheet, I know it all, 10,000 formulas in it. But the ability just to, or the attraction for seeing the patterns and the beauty of patterns, and that's why I like math a lot. That's why I like roaming and shooting, just to find patterns. And so it all comes together some kind of way.
Wow, that's very impressive. I read all the stuff you're doing. What kind of projects are you working on currently?
Currently, there's one that's a perennial, which is called Ice Ball 3-on-3.
Okay.
So what is that? It's 3-on-3 outdoors in the dead of winter. This is more of a peripheral, but it's important because of the concept. I invite world-class street ball players, former pro players, pro-am players for a 3-on-3 outdoors in the dead of winter at West 4th. Think about it, it's no gimmick. It's just throwback basketball because I think the game and therefore the aesthetic that it's conveying has gotten really nice. There is no more park basketball. People don't know it, but in New York City, if you're good, at 8 years old, they're going to take you, suit you up, and you're going to travel the country. But I just mean mismatched uniform, playing park basketball. And there are a lot of the guys, the pros who do participate, they appreciate that aesthetic. And trust me, the ones who do make it to the highest levels, they understand what that gives you, the love of the game and the competition. What else am I working on? After shooting, I shot in Cuba last year for the Aspen Institute. And that was their first time going to La Habana. And it was a joy just to see and move around the streets shooting in Cuba. And what I'm doing with that is still showing those images, but also looking for a next engagement where I can go to. And oftentimes I'll let people shoot with my cameras, but sometimes I want to tell a different kind of story myself. And that's a respect. It's more out of respect than anything, you know.
you plan on going back?
Oh yeah.
Can you take me? My father was born there.
You serious?
And I'd like to go, so I'll be your helper if I can get out of this country and go with you.
Wow, una gente muy amable, muy amable.
That's great. So those are your current projects.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else or something coming up?
So let's see. There's the bring of the ice ball, the writing. Just finished the shooting. Markets for Good. This is huge.
We were talking about
current
that.
project. And so imagine this: the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, the Hewlett Foundation, and LiquidNet got together to say, we need to do something about how we use data in the social sector. The social sector being the foundations, philanthropies, social entrepreneurs, or even for-profit businesses who overtly say, I want to do good. Now, you can't run a business, and you certainly can't do good if good is your business, including without knowing how you use data, how you generate it, how you use it to manage your business, how you share it with other people who are in the struggle with you trying to solve the major problems that we're facing. And so we've taken I'll call it the unsexy side of data, which is the infrastructure, the stocks and flows and the plumbing of the house to figure out how we can make that better so that it can be a platform for the kind of innovation and information and knowledge sharing that you need nowadays to face big problems. Okay. And so I'm leading that as conversation curator, which is what? Editorial writing, inviting people from all disciplines, JWTs
yeah.
We've already had good conversations here. Inviting people to comment on how are you facing the data problem. I came from advertising and I know that the data problem evidenced itself in the language of ROI. A good 10 years ago, people were saying, we need results, we need ROI. Well, those aren't conflicting things, innovation and ROI. ROI then quickly, I think, came to stand for removal of innovation. And I remember writing that term a while back when I was working with an independent firm. But there's a way to get your numbers, know your data, and still innovate. And I think that's equally the challenge that the social sector is facing today. And I'm enjoying leading that conversation with the voices from all over the world who are just sharing their stories.
That's amazing. And you're definitely a leader. So now, within your industry, how do you see diversity, or what role does diversity play in your, I would say, industry? You do so many different things, but in the work that you do in general.
I take that first word. I think you said correctly, my industry, because each one of the places I've gone, if you take it as a creative endeavor, whether it's business with GE and the social sector with Markets for Good, or in photography and art, diversity, I think it's a theme that us, like, let's not be abstract, that we need to face honestly. There's a gentleman by the name of Scott E. Page who wrote a book called The Difference, and he just lays out real plainly how there is no, we reach a real low ceiling of solutions when we don't have collective diversity. So take, for example, if I'm looking at the social sector, the people who we send abroad in the name of doing good, it wouldn't make sense that everyone we send abroad comes from the exact same educational, cultural, social background. But as with most of our industries, there is a high propensity for the people at certain levels who go out and representing, whether it be government or the social sector, you bring only one message. And we wonder why when people come here, people say, wow, Americans are so, and we go, doesn't make, all you can say is basically Americans are, because I can show you a kid from Cleveland and take him on a study abroad trip to Florida, where the food would be different, the language would be different. Take Florida, drop him in Washington State. So we know there's diversity here, and I'm not talking black, white. I mean, I've just given Cleveland, Florida, Minnesota, where they'll talk different food, different languages, and let them be three people of the same, what we think, ostensible culture. But they aren't. So it's important for me to see diversity in the sense of you need to make a concerted effort to, one, keep your mind open first for the diversity, but two, open some gates and open some lines of thought. I don't see the kind of diversity in these different sectors, and it's just, that's not news. I mean, it's just a definition of, the country in any one front or another, but it doesn't mean that we can't make specific open and inviting statements, and then make inroads to say, look, let's, almost like in Isaiah 1 and 18, come now, let us reason together. Keyword is together. You know?
That's the problem. That's the problem nowadays. We're not embracing it.
Yeah, and we're artificially limiting the range of solutions. You know, if we say you and I, we both made A's, say we went to the same school, say we lived in the same neighborhood, and out of 4 people, they want to choose the people who made the best grades. I'm taking the Scott Page example. They choose you and me because we made the best. But if the B student right behind us came from a totally different neighborhood and perhaps has dealt exactly with the problem that we're trying to face, and our range of solutions is made better if that guy is included, because we're redundant in a way, like,
right?
You know. And so diversity is huge. But I wanted to see it one day come out of the language of, let's put a black person here, a white person here, a Hispanic person here, Asian, great, how we're diverse. No. But I mean, there is something to say for phenotype in the sense that they represent cultures. I'm walking down the street, I'm not confused with, you know, with by people who would project certain images and be correct. There's nothing wrong with that. Some they project may not be. But it's, I think there's an honesty, see what I'm getting at, of the conversation that we just need to raise up, and easy to do that in the context of all of us looking for a bigger set of solutions.
And hopefully you have a chance to do that in your line of work and writing. And so I think the question that's coming up, you know, it's when we ask everyone, and it's of great importance to get to know you, what makes you different?
What makes me different? I on this exact same line, like, I'm not all of my family Henderson. It takes the 6 Hendersons to give an identity to that last name. I'm not all of black people. Obviously, I'm one of some, you know, the millions of people that represent 13% of the country. Black's not all of humanity. So what I need in all of this is, I can only be fully me since I don't comprehend all of it, if you are fully you. Because if each one of us does what he does, then you have access to the full picture. If I try to be you, then that's a redundancy. And so differenter is me owing my best to you by being the best self that I can be and being individually myself, and then respecting you when you bring that back to me. And so, no, because no one of us, John Donne said it much better than I could right here, no man is an island. The implication of that is we're all unified in one identity. But the more we try to be redundant and not respect, or me try to be somebody else, then you lose a mathematical value there. And so differenter is being myself, and then respecting when other people bring that to me.
Great. I really like that. I respect that. I think we need to be more conscious of that. So thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Yeah.
Thank you. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. This has been another episode of 24/7 Differenter, and we will see you next time.
I want the lightning to strike and set me on fire.